Stitch this with the book series you'd rather see adapted over Harry Potter or Twilight.
A lot of people are going to disagree. And while I did not hate the movies, I do own them. I'm going to say The Hunger Games. So, as a reader, a book lover, you know, there's the joke that if they would make a 10-hour movie of my favorite book, I'd watch it. Probably. But I know, and many other readers know, that, you know, they can't put in every single detail for time constraints, right? But that's not the problem that this series had. The problem was its PG-13 rating. The Hunger Games has a lot of things that point to current events, historical events. It is about violence and prejudice and war. It's pretty much an allegory for war and PTSD and stuff like that. And class discrimination. And while the acting is good, I thought some parts were even acted phenomenally. And the music, the score is beautiful and it goes so well with it. There was just so much left out. And again, it's not really because of the time constraints, because that movie was still over 2 hours long. It's because of the rating. There were so many things that the movie skimmed over, only talked about briefly, or just completely ignored. There are so many, backstory, subplots. There's so much that you could do with this series, especially given that when you look at stuff like Catching Fire and the past tributes and everything, there's so much you can do. I'm not normally one that likes to add to stories that the author didn't put in, but if you did like a mini series or just a series with a few seasons or whatever, it would be perfect, especially if Collins got in and wrote some backstories for a lot of her characters. It would make a fantastic TV series. So yeah, my first one that I would say is The Hunger Games.
Stitch this with the book series you'd rather see adapted over Harry Potter or Twilight.
I am going to say Goosebumps. So there's a new Goosebumps series, but it's based on the movies, which I thought the movies were okay. I really liked the first one. The first one had some good humor in it. But there are so many of the books that would have made fantastic episodes. Especially something like Beast from the East. Put some good graphics in, and that would make a fantastic episode. Legend of the Lost Legend. That's probably my favorite one. One of my favorite ones. And that would have been a cool, adventurous one. We can have gotten some wintry horror ones, like this Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. So he appeared in the movie, but never actually got his own, episode from the book. Beware the Snowman would have made a good episode. Again, we don't have a lot of winter horror. Then there is the other series, Goosebumps 2000, Slappy World. A lot of those are fun. So we could have had a few seasons doing the original 62 books, or we could have mixed in a few 2000 episodes. There's Goosebumps Horrorland and Most Wanted. There's just so much that we could have gotten But instead we got this.
Stitch this with the book series you'd rather see adapted over Harry Potter or Twilight.
Okay, so my third pick is the Lunar Chronicles. I loved this series. So this is a series of 4 main books, a short story collection, a short novella that's like a villain origin story, and a couple graphic novels. And what the Lunar Chronicles are, the 4 books are based, or loosely based, on fairy tales. So there is Cinder, which is Cinderella basically, and she is a cyborg in New Beijing, China. Scarlet, which is the second book, she's from France if I remember correctly, and that's a Little Red Riding Hood. Then there is Cress, which she lives in a satellite. Her name is Crescent Moon, and that is based on Rapunzel. And then there is Winter, which is Snow White, and Winter is the daughter of Queen Lavanna, who basically is the evil Lunar Queen, because in this series basically we've colonized the moon. Basically we live there, but over years people who they call lunars developed this ability to kind of control people, and so they're basically seen as evil. And the series follows like the 4 main characters and them dealing with this virus that's going around, and this evil Lunar Queen. It's just so much fun. It needs to be movies. They need to be movies. This is definitely a series I will be reading again, but I just finished it like a year ago, and I'm reading the graphic novels now. But another series with just so many characters and so many stories to tell and build up on, or build from. So yeah, my third pick is the Lunar Chronicles. If you have not read them and you want a fun read, I highly recommend them. I have spring eyes. See my fun eyes? Oh look, they're like meteors, like shooting stars or whatever you want to call them.
Cool.
I know, that's pretty cool, right?